Last night was Super Tuesday, folks. Super Tuesday, and while the presidential races were nothing really to pay much attention to, a lot of eyes were on the California Senate primary, and this was, of course, a three-way race on the Democratic side between Adam Schiff, Katie Porter, and Barbara Lee, and you also had the Republican Steve Garvey in the race. California does a jungle primary, which means all the candidates from all the parties run in one primary, and the top two candidates advance to November. Now, typically, because California is such a woke, blue, progressive, liberal state, two Democrats end up squaring off head-to-head. Not this time, though. Little Adam Schiff. Well, we can call him Adam Shit now because it's after 30 seconds.
Adam Shit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We can call when we clip this for YouTube, we got to make sure not to say shit in the first 30 seconds, but it's been past 30 seconds, so we could say that now. Little Adam Shit wins with 33.2% of the vote. And look at that. Republican Steve Garvey in second with 32.4%, which means Katie Porter and Barbara Lee are out. And look at that vote total. Look at this pathetic state of California. This is why I tell you Democratic Party voters are the problem with the Democratic Party. They are the most pathetic, worthless group of people in the history of this country from a political standpoint. They just completely, like I said, just no more worthless group of people in this country's history.
Yes, yeah. And that's true nationwide, but it's particularly true of California. And New York.
Yeah.
And New York. And New York.
Yes.
They are both just whatever they are told to do. These are the shit lib homeworlds, New York and California. As much as I've been saying, there's a creeping monoculture around the country. You know what I have noticed, even though New Orleans is blue in a sea of blood red, because it's in a sea of blood red, people don't really talk that lib shit here, man. They keep it to themselves.
Right.
I have not once been sitting at dinner, and I've gone to a few of the kind of places that if they were back east would be full of libs. And I don't hear nobody talking about, oh, my God, did you see what Trump did? I haven't heard that shit once since I've been here.
Yeah. No, it's a good observation because they are much more confident in these real blue power centers, New York, California, Chicago. And I had some person, try and provide some sort of context to this or try and soften this by saying, well, it's because the progressives split the vote by running 2 against 1.
That's
not what had happened. That's not what happened. If you notice, Katie Porter and Barbara Lee got a combined 21% of the vote. They weren't even within 10 points of him combined. Adam Schiff, by far the most pro-Israel and pro-AIPAC of these choices. Katie Porter
lying about Russiagate.
And yes, obviously.
Straight up lying. Lied so blatantly that he got confronted on The View, which is not exactly RT.
Right. Right. Exactly. When you get called out by Joy Behar and Whoopi Goldberg for taking Russiagate blue MAGA propaganda too far, that is quite the indictment. But of course, as a rule, like I said, California Democratic voters, absolutely worthless, not worth engaging them whatsoever. But at Adam Schiff's victory speech, there were some ceasefire protesters who
God bless them.
Didn't just stand up and wave some signs and do some chants. They derailed the entire thing. Here is a news report. He actually had to cut the speech short.
I want to thank you all.
Someone came up and said to Adam Schiff, who was reading off a prompter, who was trying to stick to the prompter to wrap it up. He went and finished it up. These were people who came in, about 5 or 6 to start with, that said, ceasefire now, ceasefire now. Security ushered them out. And then another couple popped up, let Gaza live, let Gaza live. And then some more came in the middle. Security could not get them out, that they were scattered through the room here at the Avalon Theater and the nightclub. Go down there and pull down in the crowd for me, please.
Let's go.
and you see that, you know, there's just a lot of arguing, a lot of disagreement. Again, they were chanting, "Free Gaza now, let Gaza live, ceasefire now, let Gaza live," and the protesters remain here in the center of this floor. So what was supposed to be a victory celebration and a scripted speech that Adam Schiff was reading off prompter, one no doubt he had carefully crafted a long time ago, was cut dramatically short, and he was now taken off the stage.
You see what happens, Larry, when you fuck a stranger in the act?
Beautiful.
That the NBC coverage was the best part to me. Like it's their job to feel bad for Lord Schiff for having his speech
so hard
interrupted.
on his speech. I'm sure he wrote this out.
This is how would this be different if this were official state TV? It's state TV. Oh, the hours he labored for nothing.
right, yeah.
The rabble came into the hall and disrupted his brilliance.
Only to be derailed by the riffraff.
The riffraff made it into the room.
Yeah, just amazing. Just amazing.
I wager that security is in cahoots.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure he prepared his remarks. What a shame. All that work for nothing. He's going to be the next senator from the state, and hopefully that is just a taste of what is in store for him during the rest of this campaign, because not only did they demonstrate, they persistently demonstrated to the point where they actually shut the event down, and that's how it's done. Don't let him finish. Do not let him finish. Do not leave there until they drag you out of there. And if you can derail the event, absolutely, it's within your right to do that. They were nonviolent. They didn't hurt anybody. He is a candidate for office, and they have every right to speak that he does, and that's the way it goes. And they shut that event down, and good for them.
It is very encouraging to see how often this is happening all over the country now. I can't really speak to it. I've never really delved into it enough. Clearly, though, you've pretty much had one-party governance in California for a very long time. And it just seems to get worse and worse there. And this is the argument conservatives will always make. I mean, they'll point. That's why I've always been very skeptical of Gavin Newsom's chances, because it's California. It's California. That is the best state that he could be from a Republican point of view, because the whole state is an argument against the Democratic Party. So, as I said, I don't know enough about why California has all the problems that it does, but clearly having Democrats in charge, because Democrats would have you believe that all of the problems in the country are caused by Republican governance. But when you look at places where they govern, you have some of the most horrible wealth inequality in the country. In my New York City, you have the worst wealth inequality in America. And what? The Democrats haven't been in charge there enough over the last 100 years? So how did it get that way?
Right. And, you know, if you look at the polls, Gavin Newsom now, I mean, look, I still think Newsom has a better shot to beat Trump than Biden does, because Gavin Newsom can still hit the campaign trail. I mean, Biden just can't do it anymore.
Right.
But Newsom's polling as of right now is actually worse than Biden's. Newsom polls worse against Trump now than Biden does. And I think that has a lot to do with it, obviously. And I think part of why California gets to a point where its exports are as loathed as they are, whether it's Nancy Pelosi or Adam Schiff or even Dianne Feinstein. I mean, she was very old these last 10 years, but she was...
Or the Marvels.
Yeah, right, the Marvels. Right. Newsom, Brown, right, he ran for president, didn't really get anywhere, right? I think part of the reason why they tend to elevate these people who just can't catch on anywhere else, Kamala Harris, obviously, is because this crop of comfortable lib voters doesn't hold them to any standard. because they have no actual like political conviction whatsoever. How are you supporting Adam Schiff if you are even if you're like a wokester? Like, on what level does he possibly break through to you other than pure Trump derangement syndrome?
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
that's
Well,
what
that's
it is.
it.
That's
That's
it.
it.
And that's it.
That's
That is
it.
their entire politics now, is hating Trump. Whoever is the strongest against Trump wins. That's how Dan Goldman won in New York.
Right.
He won in this very, liberal, woke, progressive part of Manhattan, Lower Manhattan,
Upscale.
West Village, Soho, right? They had quite a few options there that they could have chosen from. They went with the guy who they thought held Trump accountable. Held him accountable how? I don't know. But he, during the impeachment, made the case against Trump. That's it. That is the center of their political world, is Trump. Whoever gives them the most emotional gratification in the world of Trump hate is who they latch on to. And most of America just does not see it that way. And I think that's part of why you have people who are able to rise to the top in a state like this that just can't get any traction elsewhere.
They are, Jimmy says this a lot. They really are hypnotized.
Yes.
Like if you look at the way they frame politics, there's no critical thinking there. It is really just, yes,
right.
Donald Trump is ruining America. The liberal class is not responsible in any way. And that's it. They just absorb that. We were, a niece. We didn't get a chance to get into it because we were getting into other things. But, it is, as I've mentioned before, the worst people I find are the people in the arts. And that is just really stunning to me, man, because your job is to like counter and question things. And it's just incredible how even that community just completely lost even its crazy artist pretenses. Even the, I want to be the, Jim Morrison asshole. Like even that's gone.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just all of the sectors of society that once represented a resistance have been neutered.
Please clap.